el niño es el pasaporte para cruzar.
Son los padres acompañados por niños.
No sé qué es lo que va a pasar con este gobierno ahora, con tantos niños solos.
Es algo que no había visto antes. Es una crisis humanitaria.
Hello, this is Lorena Arroyo from Mexico City.
Hello, this is Esther Poveda from Miami. We would like to thank the Alliance for Women in Media Foundation for this award and for all the work that you do.
This award honors women, and we want to dedicate it to the strong immigrant women who made this story possible. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much, and stay safe, everyone.
We are facing the deadliest drug crisis in American history.
I got 2 overdoses and 2 babies in the back.
Opioid epidemic.
Opioid crisis.
The United Nations are now sounding the alarm.
The sales went up, the treatment admissions went up, and the deaths went up.
Hi everyone, my name is Annabelle Timsit and I'm a geopolitics reporter for Quartz. I'd like to start off by thanking the Alliance for Women in Media Foundation for giving me and the Quartz video team this beautiful Gracie Award for original online news programming. Investigative journalism is a rare commodity these days, but it's never been as important. We worked on our documentary, How to Sell Drugs Legally, for about a year, and I think it's fair to say that without the funding and the time that the funding gave us, we would never have been able to do it. And the same goes for the support of our editors at Quartz. So I'm incredibly grateful for this recognition. I'm honored to be on a list with other talented women in media, and I hope that wherever you all are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and that we'll be able to celebrate in person soon. Thank you.
Today, protesters have come out again, setting up blockades in Central, where riot police have deployed tear gas. I can smell it in the air right now. Walls have been coming down. Now, the 21-year-old who was shot on Monday, he's reportedly now in serious condition, from critical condition, and he has been arrested for unlawful assembly, adding to the tally then of more than 3,000 arrests made throughout these 5+ months. As Chief Executive Carrie Lam says, all effort will be made to maintain order, and China's foreign ministry has said that crimes committed in the city by protesters, they should be punished.
Hong Kong has captured the world's attention with protests that reached a turning point last summer and sparked questions about the future of the city. Over this time, I've had the privilege of witnessing this chapter unfold in this remarkable place, and it would not have been possible without the producers and camera crew who are with me for live updates on the ground. Thank you to the team leaders who entrusted me with this responsibility, and I'm so grateful for the support of my family in Malaysia and here in Hong Kong. And of course, a very big thank you to the Alliance for Women in Media Foundation. It is an honor for our work at Bloomberg to be recognized with this Gracie Award for crisis coverage. This is history in the making, and we're going to be here to share that story.
Plastic chairs in a circle and sweets being handed out in the middle of a street in Derik, a mainly Kurdish town in the northeastern corner of Syria. At first sight, it looks like a neighborhood party, but this is a mourning ceremony, and the chant on people's lips is that martyrs never die. These are the friends and family of Herven Halef, the young politician pulled from her car and murdered last Saturday, along with her driver and an aide.
I'm Susan Bonner with the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, the host of The World at 6 on CBC Radio. Thank you very much for this recognition. The real credit goes to our London-based correspondent Margaret Evans and her producer Stephanie Genzer and her crew, who traveled to northern Iraq and then into Syria to give voice to the too often silent women and children in Syria who are suffering in this war zone. Thank you very much.
I'm Lauren Schiller, and on the next Inflection Point.
In writing this apology, I moved him from monster to apologist.
I moved him from terrifying entity to broken, wounded boy. And in doing that, he lost power over me. He lost agency over me.
Join me as I speak with Eve Ensler at the Commonwealth Club about her transformational and best-selling book, The Apology. I'm Lauren Schiller, host of Inflection Point, about how women rise up. Thank you so much to the Alliance for Women in Media Foundation for this Gracie Award for my conversation with Eve Ensler about the radical power of apology. Thank you, V. Thanks to my hubby for his unending support, and to my daughters for marching with me and beside me and ahead of me for justice today. I couldn't do this without my team, Alora Weaver and Eric Wayne. You two are the best. Thank you, Tina Pamatwan, for your partnership at KALW, and thanks to Matt Martin for giving me a pilot for this show in 2015. And John Barth, thanks for always believing in me. We are at an inflection point for women, and when women rise up, we all rise up. Thank you so much. The child protective worker scooped the toddler into her arms and under the care of city government.
I said to my child, I said, I'm sorry. Please forgive Mama. It felt like you're just going to have a baby and somebody just rip your child out your womb.
5 years ago, of the nearly 4,000 children separated from their parents, a little more than a third were removed without going to court first. Last year, it was nearly half. Almost all children involved were non-white. Almost all were poor. It is such an honor to be a Gracie Award winner. Thank you to the Alliance for Women in Media Foundation. I have to thank the mothers and their attorneys, also women, who allowed me to interview them for this story. They opened up to me with very sensitive information and allowed me to scrutinize their cases and to tell their experiences with the child welfare system. Thank you to my fantastic editor, Julianne Welby, to our mix engineers, Bill Moss and Wayne Schulmeister. And even though I won in the radio series category, I also wrote a pretty meaty online article that had beautiful photographs from the very talented Clarissa Sosin. Thank you so much.
TPR's Lauren Terrazas tells the story of the woman behind the Hotel Emma.
Sherry Kafka Wagner is an urban designer. She helped with the creation of San Antonio's Riverwalk. She's also fascinated with the involvement of women in the city's history.
I keep running across these stories of amazing women who've done incredible things, very necessary to the success of the city, who are not known, are barely noticed.
Like Ellen Quillen, who founded the Whitty Museum. Hello, I'm Lauren Terrazas with Texas Public Radio. Thank you so much to the Alliance for Women in Media for including me among this year's recipients. This is actually my first award ever and the first Gracie for the TPR newsroom. So to say this is an honor is an understatement. I'd also like to say a big thank you to Cindy Carpian. Cindy, if it weren't for your patience, your guidance, your expertise, I know the final end result of this project wouldn't have been nearly as impactful, so thank you so much. I started producing the story about Miss Emma Kaler right around the time that I first moved to San Antonio, so this was just a unique opportunity for me to explore this little piece of history of my new city and share it with my new community. So thank you again, Alliance for Women in Media, for recognizing all the amazing work women are contributing to public media. Thank you.
Welcome to League of Our Own, smart talk about women, for women, by the women of Radio Hofstra University. I am your host, Julia Presti. Today we'll be talking about female firefighters. Historically, when people think about firefighters, they often think of men. But that image is changing. More and more women are becoming firefighters. Over the years, the number of women firefighters has increased, but according to the U.S. Department of Labor in 2018, only 4% of the nation's firefighters are women.
I'd like to thank the Alliance for Women in Media Foundation for presenting me with such a prestigious award. I wish we all could have been there in June to have celebrated the Gracies, but I am more than honored to recognize the fearless female firefighters. When you think of firefighters, you think of the males, but females do just as much work, if not double, to get the same recognition. Thank you so much again for such an amazing award, and I hope everybody stays safe, and I'll see you next year at the Gracies.
و یک بار دیگه خوش هستم که زحمات شما، قهرمانی‌های شما، از خودگذری‌های شما ما اگر درک نکنم که قیمت برآمدن یک زن از خانه به خاطر من که از خانه میبرایم برچسبی که به من داده میشه قربانی را که من میتم من درک میکنم که شما وقتی که از خانه میبرین این گپ میکشید. ما مسئولیت داریم و رسالت داریم که صدای هر زنی که در قله های کوی پامیر و نورستان است او را به مو شکل بکشیم که اونا بار به قسم امانت اینجا فرستادن، یعنی صدای از اونا امانت است که ما باید او را انعکاس بدیم.
Thank you so much to the Alliance for Women in Media Foundation for recognizing Facing the Dragon with this Gracie Award for Director Unscripted. I'd also like to thank the World Channel, PBS's Doc World series, Chris Hastings and Victoria Marsh for believing in this film from the beginning. I'd like to thank my funders, the Independent Television and Video Service, and the Sundance Documentary Fund. Lastly, I would like to thank Nilofar and Shakila for trusting me with their stories, my family, my production team, and I dedicate this Gracie Award to the Afghan people.
Students are walking out asking administrators to step up their safety game 1 year after the on-campus murder of Lauren McCluskey.
It came out that she had attempted to contact the UPD with her and her friends over 20 times. So the mishandling of her case, and then over the course of the last year, the university just saying that there was nothing that they could have done to improve safety.
The student coalition Unsafe U organized this demonstration, inviting students to leave class, grab a marker, and make their own statement.
Hi everyone. I'd like to thank the Alliance for Women in Media Foundation for this Gracie Award, which is just a huge honor for me and also kind of a huge surprise. I know that at the first semester where I started out doing student reporting, I just felt like such a big mess and like I was one of the worst in the class, honestly. So honestly, this is just a testament to the kind of instruction and the kind of help that we get from our mentors in our news lab. We have Melissa Gibbs and Alan Neves, who I can't thank enough for teaching us such valuable elements of the industry. And I'd like to thank my mom and my dad and all my family for being so supportive in my aspirations and my career in media. So thank you again.
And milk and feed, clean up. At 5 in the afternoon, we start milking again. And then you generally finish up around 8 o'clock at night. Normal people have no concept of what's involved. There's a lot of times when you go out and there's a water line broken and the whole barn's flooded. You go out and there's a cow having trouble having a calf. That's where we got the name Daily Crisis Forum. You just never know what you're going to run into.
Thank you to the Gracie Awards and the Alliance for Women in Media Foundation for the recognition. A special shout out to the Viewfinder team for their constant support and for being our first official audience.
And thank you to my parents, friends, and my family. I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias.
Huge thank you to my family and friends for listening to me talk about cows for months. I love you all dearly and appreciate your support. Sarangheo.
Lastly, we want to thank Dan, Kim, and the whole Vaughn family at Daily Crisis Farm for trusting us with their story and their life. And to every single dairy farmer out there, we share this one with you. Thank you so much.
Normita loved the residents, but with up to 6 residents at a time, the work was relentless. It was like being the housekeeper, cook, nurse, maid, all rolled up into one. Were you ever allowed to leave the facility?
No, we cannot leave.
She didn't even get Christmas off.
Christmas and Thanksgiving, holidays, we work. I'm telling you, no day off. There's no day off.
She was willing to put up with it and never reported Ramel because she didn't want to lose her job.
How many of you believe there is a systemic problem of discrimination at the FBI? Everybody. Did you notice that you were being criticized for things that other male colleagues were doing and not getting criticized for?
Most definitely.
And you were kicked out.
A week before I was due to graduate.
There are going to be some people who see this interview and they're going to say, well, these women couldn't cut it.
If it was currently based on merit, we wouldn't be filing a lawsuit.
Thank you to the Gracies and the Alliance for Women in Media Foundation for this incredible honor. This story was reported by an extraordinary all-woman team that included correspondent Stephanie Gosk, associate producer Kenzie Abusabe, and Justice Department reporter Julia Ainsley. Thank you to our bosses at the NBC News Investigative Unit for their support of this important story, and for the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund for their assistance. This story would not have been possible without the 10 brave women who sat down with us on camera. They did so at tremendous risk to their jobs, and unfortunately, many of them have been retaliated against since. It is their example of women supporting other women, of standing up for what is just and what is right, that is a true inspiration to us all. Thank you.
Black children are more likely to be suspended, leading them down the school-to-prison pipeline.
Why are you subject to arrest for things like cutting class?
Our loved ones are arrested and receive harsher penalties than whites.
There's a premium on black people.
Who profits from this injustice?
Locking up black people is big business.
Join me, along with members of the Congressional Black Caucus, as we address the growing movement to end mass incarceration.
American Injustice, a BET Town Hall, Sunday at 9. Be there.